Hey guys, so I'm here today to talk about two very good tools, especially for those who are just starting out, okay? In the area of web development, front end, and even in backend as well. These are two tools with AI that greatly help a developer's life, okay? I'm going to give some insights, right? Show more or less how it works. One that I've been using for some time is from V0, from Verso, and today there's one that was launched called Bolt. This Bolt is interesting because it is open source, okay? So we can download and use it locally on the machine. That's interesting. Both are paid, okay? But there's a little limit there that you can use to create your content and everything else. I'm going to teach you more or less how the scheme works, okay? And then I'll show you how to download it to your computer. Configure it locally to be able to run, okay, the Bolt, because the Versoil one doesn't allow it. Let's go. It's this guy here. Look, I'll first show you the Versoil Visio because I think that of the two, the VO has a slightly better performance. Okay. They released this project's part that I won't go into much detail about now, okay? It works very well with commands, okay, and also works a lot with images. If you have an image you want to copy, for example, let's search here, look. The online artifact wax. It also works a lot with Airframe. Okay, if you want to send an image to it and have it do something, then you draw some interface by hand and send it to it, okay? It usually has a pretty nice result. Let's take this guy here, for example. Let's say and if just one page isn't enough, let's take this guy. Let's see how it behaves. Okay, let's copy this guy here. Look, here in the version, actually, I'm going to put it in both. Then you already have the comparison of the tools, okay? And the landing page and portfolio. Just like the image, the version here, the Visio, it will do in Next, okay? But here you can make an input and ask it to do it in another technology. Contact script, setup, script, React, pool, and everything else here. I will let it do the version with Next just to see how it turns out, okay? I will keep this input very simple. Then basically you hit the play button here and it will do everything for you, okay? The interesting thing about Bolt is that, let me just copy the input here to make it exactly identical. You see here, it starts creating on the right. All the code, whether it's good code or not, if it's bad code. And here it shows the steps it's taking. After it finishes, it will launch a preview. It already loads here. Look at this, man. I'm amazed every time I use it. Man, it's bizarre. It even does mobile devices such as various smartphones and tablets, you see. Look at the image here. It's okay that it left it vertical and horizontal, right? And it was like that. But you see, basically, man, you'll just have to make a few adjustments, you know? But let's go to Bolt here. Let's see how it behaves. Check out the portfolio. Let me just copy this guy here. Just the background, it didn't do more people, all right. Bolt, as I was saying, sometimes when you send an image to it, it tends to fail quite a bit. And every time you retry, it consumes your credit. This is a little error with Bolt. Let's see if it will do this to us here, live. But do you see the same image? It created a landing page, blah, blah, blah. It will do almost the same scheme. The only thing that differs is how you will use this in your system. Bolt is a bit more complete because do you see it opens like a VS Code on your right side there? And it creates several files. It already separates the context of each thing for you, you understand. So it's already a ready project here for you. You just need to download it to your machine and work on it. I will show you step by step here how it will render. This one doesn't. It creates a long string, you see. Then it's up to you to take this and use it. Why? Because here, its power is, it's a component. So if you're doing something there, you have the little Figma, send it to it. It will make a really nice component for you and you import it into your project. It's easy. You will click here on the little terminal and copy this part here. Okay. Once you've copied this, you will paste it into your terminal and it will download exactly this component of yours. Okay. It is based on the 𝗦𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗔𝗟 library. It's really good, man. The front-end people are using it a lot now. People who really like Tailwind, I love it. Tailwind is migrating to 𝗦𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗔 because it has a slightly more modular approach. What does it do? By using 𝗦𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗔, you can install a specific component, for example, a button. It doesn't take the button, 𝗦𝗦𝗖𝗜𝗓𝗓, from Tailwind as it is, like you don't instantiate it. It takes the button and creates it in your project. So the button is yours, you understand? It's not from the library, it's yours. So you can modify it within the component. The component stays within your project, not imported inside the node module folder, you know? So this gives you tremendous scalability power. Let's leave it here in preview to see how it looks, and we'll go back to Bolt. Guys, look at this. He even put an image here for us, and he even made a marquee effect here. Look, how cool, moving to the left. Very good, guys. Let's see. The image again. White background, a man there with a transparent background, a font, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I personally really like V0. I see that V0 is a bit more assertive, but I can't say it's bad. The one from Bolt, right? And look at this. I told you, and you can also ask Bolt to do it in React in Node. There's no view, so you can specify it to him. Okay. But look how cool he created the main here. Nice. We have the app and it created 3 components: navigation, hero, and services. Look, the hero is visible. It has the length, blah, 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 and the image. And it also has transform and translate. Then there's the navigation, which is the top part, right? And there's the service. What is the service? The service he created, you see animate scroll. With Tailwind, he created the little scroll for us there. Then you can tap here, you see in the preview. Sometimes it crashes. It's in the build of both, I'll be honest. Then you can ask it to fix it directly here, and it will correct the code for you as you write. Based on this, you can ask it to create something else. Based on the same design, create a section with photos of my work. Below the current beauty, I will send it here to see how it will behave. And I will also send it in V0 so we can see how it is, right? But it will probably create another file. Okay, folks, it will create another file or it will import it. It creates another one, you see. Portfolio landing. He repeatedly changed 36. When you ask him to do a complete project, he starts creating various files and leaves them here, like home, hero, portfolio, TSX. He leaves everything neatly separated. So it becomes a bit segmented, not Bolt. He creates everything there and you can edit here. Look at this man. I didn't do anything. I just asked him to do it. He already created it here. There's the vool, I think. It's implemented. The Vue project isn't either, all right. But look at this, man. Man, it's bizarre. Look at the 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗓 one. See, he pulled it down, but here you can make him keep correcting it. For example, here I want him to create a modal. When I click on a portfolio photo et enlarge the photo via modal, we hit play here, he will do it. In Bolt, we will do the same thing. As I said, you see, here you can tweak everything you want, and there's already a terminal here for you. You can write here and take down the system and bring Bolt back up. When it's all set, it will be very good. I think 𝗦𝗢𝗓 is even more accurate, right? But Bolt, look there, you see there's already a problem. The free version is like this, guys. There's no other way. You'll have to keep trying. Now it worked. Look there. It created another component. You can see that it already has a certain good practice on how to create this part of componentization of your project and so on. So this is a very good thing for those who are starting and want to create their portfolio on GitHub to show what they've already done. It's a good start for people who are beginning to see what a good and organized code looks like, because it is a good and organized code, right? It's not a spec level code, but it's a very good and organized code. And it explains, you see, it created a reusable component, a modal, then updated the portfolio part. Then the features, it's responsive, the image scales, it has a title. Let's take a look at this guy here in a more detailed manner and observe the characteristics. Also, see how it looks? A bit more elegant. I'm going to toot my own horn here. I think it's sensational. So guys, with these two things, you can do a lot. You can do backend, create a front end for some system you're thinking of launching. For those of you who are starting, you can create a small system to present your work to recruiters. You can create a nice resume that pulls information from LinkedIn, for example. It also allows you to handle the backend part. I'll just illustrate, but the more specific you are in your query here, the more assertive it will be. For example, let's suppose I want to create an integration with login, and I'm going to use some kind of low-code backend platform like Supabase, for instance. I can say I'm using Supabase to implement Google login with it, and I'll do the same thing here. It will be better here, but all right, it's Supabase. For those who don't know, I even recommend it, okay? It's backend as a service. So it removes much of the complexity of setting up a backend, creating a CRUD, and so on. It makes a lot of things easier. It's open source, so you can download it from GitHub, deploy it on your VPS and use it, or on your local machine and use it for free. Or you can also use it directly on their system and pay them. The price isn't expensive, you see. Although one CPU for $5 is kind of tough. All right, let's go with what he said there. To implement Google authentication, with Supabase, it will upgrade your package to install the missing packages. Then it created the Supabase TS, the out store, to create the login application state. Created the out button, which is the action to perform the login. Then updated the navigation, probably created the login there, right? There, but he also updated the app and created the ENV. Then he says, all right, I did it for you, but you need to do something on Google to perform authentication. He says to activate Google Alpha in Supabase You have to enable Google Provider within your Supabase backoffice under authentication providers. Okay. Then you will have to create a file. env, this one here that he already left open, and put the Supabase URL and your Supabase key here. Here, he also talks about the other steps for you to be able to log in. He didn't do the preview, okay? Didn't do the preview. Where's my package? Let's see if he placed the package correctly. Auto prefixer global blah, which is a system called. Let's see if it's merging. It failed. In Boot, you have more control, to start up, shut down the systems. If it starts up, it will open in preview. Here the page is. If it gives an error, it will notify you here and in the terminal as well. Let's see the portfolio look. I see it created the Google login file, okay? See, it only has the login. Our site ended up on the portfolio landing page. See, this is where they could tidy up and make it more like Bolt. You have better control over what you're doing, being able to modify and everything else. All right, it created the Supabase Google login, but it also keeps everything in the file. It doesn't create a very nice architecture, but it also does it step by step. See here on the panel, for the base, put it in Envy. Create a callback route in Alf, the AppAlf callback route, which is in the part of your, when you're using Next, right? In the API part of your Next, right? So you can do the login part, right? Which is a BFE. Then, all right, he explains it properly. Here is how to use it. And here you already have the single it Google, see? So it also does backend both. Okay. Let's see if it went up here. It crashed. It went up because it's not showing the URL value. It's probably asking for some URL from the Supabase here that is trying to find. And since we didn't configure it, it's crashing. The system isn't going up. Okay. Here, you can also open this in StackBlitz, which is like having Visual Studio Code in your browser. So you can edit everything. You can also deploy and so on. But I think there's a lot of room for this guy to grow, and video as well. I think Bolt was launched this month or last month, in the middle of last month. 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔 is a bit more legacy. I think it's about 3 or 4 months old. I'm not sure. And it also records all your chats here. Okay. You can return here if you are logged in, okay? I don't remember about Bolt, but it does too, you see. You can also ask it to create a theme, because making a theme by hand is tough. See that it even shows the error here. If you use 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔, it will copy everything you've written about the error, put it here in the input, and send it to 𝗦𝗚𝗚list to solve the error for you. Okay. And now I will show you how to upload locally. Okay. Why? Because the Bolt, it has, and the open source, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining like crazy outside. Isn't it this guy? And the first thing for you is that you will need to download Chrome Canary, okay? Chrome Canary, in order to run it. If you like it, I can make a video just explaining how to set it up, configure it, and everything else so you can use it locally. You see that the developer version of Chrome, basically you will have to download and install it. Let me just check the GitHub address here. No. Beauty. Look, this guy here, I'll leave it here. In the video description, it's also there for you to grab. Open source, folks, you can download and use it locally. The only thing that happens with this card, if you download this version here, which is the original version, you won't be able to use it locally because it is not configured to run with the LLM that you have. For example, you pay for a subscription to chat app. So you have your key from OpenAI. Ideally, you would be able to configure your key within this project to use your key or use some local NLM on your machine. If you have a machine with a good graphics card or low processor, just for artificial intelligence, which many laptops now come with, right? So the Galaxy Book, which is what I have, right, that I use, it has, besides the graphics card, it also has a processor dedicated to artificial intelligence. You can use it locally, okay? You just need to open and install it locally if you want. Later, I'll record a video, ask here in the comments, and I'll record a video on how to configure with the local LLM, because then you don't pay anything. If you have a PC that's a bit not high end, it will take quite a while, and it might increase the error rate, okay? But there's a very good repository. Man, I'll also leave it here. From 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗓𝗔𝗟. He's a foreigner who really likes this part of artificial internet and everything else. He forked this repository and created the possibility for us to do this. Okay, to set up a case for us to use our chat IPT, right? Our open, then our cloud and everything else. And this is the guy that I'll also put here in the description for you, which I recommend you download. All right. Because this guy is basically a fork. So what do we do? Let me just open it here to show you it's 70 commits ahead of Bolt's original version. So I think he must have even improved this guy more. There. I'll open it here. I'll pull it up for you. And put it on top. I'll be controlling it here. Let me see if it appeared there, guys. That's it. Great. You checked out this repository, cloned it locally. It's on your machine there. For those who don't know, just click here. Okay. Seeing HTTPS, git clone goes to the folder you want. That's it. Then you press enter. It will clone this repository to your machine. Okay. Clone the repository on your machine. You have to follow a little bit. You see, what does it ask you to do? It asks you to install this PnP install, okay? This thing here you need to install. If you have Windows, you need to install it for Windows. If you have Linux or Mac, you need to install it with them. But there are some tricks with this thing. Here, okay. To do the installation. Only on Windows. If you are using Windows like I do, I always use git bash. So what is git bash? Okay. It greatly facilitates these Unix-based commands for us to execute, because if it's PowerShell, it's a nightmare. I tried to make it work on PowerShell, okay? I even made some edits here, you see, to make it work on PowerShell. It works, but it's not very good. It's not very well done. So what are we just going to do? We're going to open Canary. You must have already installed it there. Okay. I'm going to open Canary down here. How is it starting to bottleneck with so many things open? All right, you're going to run a yarn dev. You're going to start npm, right? It depends on what you use. I like to use yarn, which it's not using. It's because it's there with the npm record. Then it will do. It will start the over. Oops. Just because I always forget to change the node version. You have to be running with node 20 there too. You see, guys, so install node 20. If you just download Windows there, download it there. The most updated node, install it on the machine. It will be with node 20. I use NVM because I have projects that use other versions of Node, okay? So there's no need to keep switching. What did I do with NVM use? I told it to use 20 in this terminal, okay? Then PMM dev, all right, it will start for us. I hope it already starts in Canary. I already have Canary open here, look. It's almost like Chrome, okay? Then it already started my server there. See, on 5173, it didn't open here. So we copy and open, it copied. Do it manually. All right, let's open it here, okay? See, it opens almost identical to Bolt, okay? There are some small differences because logically, they won't include everything they do in their paid version here, right? Which is more the core. But what happens here on the top monitor, what the guy implemented there, let me just close this. You guys will copy my key, see? In the local env, there will be the file. You will rename it. It will come with the env, okay? You will rename it to env.local. Then you will generate the key there on your side here. It's from GPT, see? I'll PNA here. Will you generate a key here? It already explains how to generate this key, okay? And we will paste it here, save it, and the system will start up here. Then you will use the PNI like GPT-4, okay? Following all to-do lists at this app. What happens? Okay. See, oops, I'm not showing you, right? The interface is a bit different, but see, I didn't ask it to make a React there by default. In Bolt, it already does it with a slightly better intelligence here. See, it created for me JS. You are all right. This one, lost ally. I also don't want it does in React. Let's see if it works now. And it's using my key GPT on GP Tech forum. So it's using my credits there, but it shouldn't take much. If you have from cloud, for example, you can put it here from Anthropic, then you put it cloud is a bit better for generating these files and content. I say that the best of both worlds is to use OpenRouter, right? What is OpenRouter? Look, your create an AI, add task, delete. It already made for me a very simple title generator. What is OpenRouter? I'm going to open it here in the back because OpenRouter is good. Because what does it do? You have to show it, right? Otherwise, it gets difficult. It's basically that a unified interface of LLMs. You will have a ranking, the entire ranking of the top LLMs, the top ones, what does this guy do for you? It generates a unique key. And with this unique key, it centralizes the world of LLM. Basically, that's it. You centralize your expenses in one place. You choose the LLM you want to use, and it starts consuming the credits. You put the credit here, like $5, $10, as you use all the LLMs available here. There's OpenAI, there's Cloud, there's Meta, and everything else. It consumes your credit from there. So you don't need to keep managing your keys, because the key management of OpenAI is horrible. For example, when you're spending and everything else, and the cost is ridiculously low, right? So I suggest those of you with an account here to put in $5 or $10 just to start the fun. Okay. And it will stay here. Look, this is from OpenRouter, okay? So what happens here in this file, 𝗠𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗔, it already has the providers all properly configured. These guys here are from OpenRouter. See? You can use this Queen, Mistral, Gemini, Flash, Prod, Psyche, Cloud, and Llama, okay? And it will stay. For you, let me see. It's there. So many screens that I get lost. Here, look. And here, look. You're talking about GPT-4. You can change. All right, I want to use something that doesn't have Ralto, something from Psyche. Let's see. Create a dark theme. I don't know if I have credit there because I used it a lot, guys. It seems like I might have a show going on there. If you write in Portuguese, it responds in Portuguese. With that, you can upload locally. And it won't consume. You won't need to pay. I think it's $20 if I'm not mistaken for the Bolt subscription. There are several forks out there. Okay, guys, you can take a look around, but it's still being built. There are many forks out there. You can search on YouTube or GitHub itself, and with very good features. There is a cool feature where you can upload a local project to this editor and be able to interact with the AI to correct code, run tests, and more. I haven't tested it yet, but a lot of people are commenting on it. So the upsource community is really engaged with this one here. I believe some very good and powerful parked versions will come out. I haven't worked much on this one yet. I want to develop some features for it. If you have any feature ideas, please share them here to make it a bit better. You see that I switched to OpenRouter using another LLM. This code LLM is good. It's quite accurate, which I'm using. For code, it's one of the best, but it's slow. It takes time. It's good and it's fast, but I don't have a separate key. And I don't know if the OpenRouter key is working because it didn't come in the FARC. I had to add it, and I haven't tested if it's working. But basically, folks, what I wanted to show you is the two systems, okay? Here it's running. Let's finish running. If there's an error, you just copy this guy here, paste it, put it here. If there's an error, fix it. All right, it will go there and try to fix it for you. I just wanted to show you these two tools and demonstrate how we can have a tool like Bolt running locally at a low cost. If you configure a local LLM, which is from Llama, you see these guys here, the Llama as well, you can run locally and it costs nothing. But depending on your machine, it can be fast or slow. If you also want me to make a fully explanatory video, right from scratch, downloading configuring everything from scratch, downloading the LLM to the machine, configuring the LLM, linking it with this guy so you can use it for free without spending anything. Leave it in the comments and I'll do it for you, okay? So that's what I had for today. Thanks everyone. See you next time.